Deep diving into the world of elite military leadership
Yeah.
and how those lessons translate to success in any field. And
Yeah, and this is
Wow.
going to be a really fascinating one because it comes from
Yeah.
a real-life
Mhm.
Navy SEAL unit and the book they wrote about their experiences.
Yeah, the book is called Extreme Ownership.
That's great.
That's the concept we're going to be exploring today.
And we're going beyond, typical business leadership advice here.
Yeah,
We're diving into a world where,
high stakes.
decisions have life or death consequences.
Yeah, that's heavy stuff. So
Yeah. Mm.
help us set the scene. Like, what kind of environment forged this philosophy?
So imagine the city of Ramadi during the Iraq War.
Okay.
Chaotic urban battleground, like riddled with insurgents, IEDs around every corner, constant sense of danger. I mean, leading a SEAL platoon through that environment,
Yeah.
it was like navigating a maze with deadly traps at every turn.
Talk about treasure.
You got it.
I mean, in that kind of situation,
Yeah,
leadership is more than just delegating tasks. It's about keeping your team alive.
that's right.
So how does extreme ownership fit into all this?
It's about a fundamental shift in mindset.
Oh,
As a leader, you take 100% responsibility for everything that happens.
100%.
Within your team's control, no excuses. No blaming external factors.
Okay.
No passing the buck.
So if the mission fails,
It's on you.
it's on the leader.
You got it.
Okay. But isn't taking 100% responsibility all the time a bit unrealistic?
Well,
What about factors outside a leader's control, like
Yeah.
sudden changes in enemy tactics or unforeseen logistical issues?
yeah, you're right. There are always external factors.
Yeah.
But extreme ownership isn't about claiming you can control everything.
Okay.
It's about controlling your response to everything. So even when something goes wrong, that's completely outside your control, you own the outcome.
Okay.
You analyze what happened,
Okay.
identify what you could have done differently,
Right.
and use that knowledge to improve future operations.
So it's not about avoiding blame.
No.
It's about extracting those valuable lessons
Yeah.
from every situation,
Yeah.
even the failures.
Precisely. It's about a relentless pursuit of improvement,
Yeah.
fueled by a deep sense of responsibility for your team's performance and well-being.
Yeah.
And that level of ownership is contagious.
I can see that.
When the leader embodies this mindset, it permeates the entire team,
Okay.
creates a culture of accountability and excellence.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
If the leader takes full responsibility, it sets a powerful example.
Right.
But let's flip the script for a second.
Okay.
We've been talking about ownership when things go wrong.
Sure.
What about when the team succeeds?
Oh, yeah.
Does extreme ownership look different in those situations?
When the mission is a success, a leader practicing extreme ownership deflects praise
Okay.
and shines the spotlight on their team members,
So they're giving credit to.
giving credit where credit is due,
Yeah.
recognizing individual contributions, celebrating collective achievements, fostering a sense of shared ownership in the victory.
That's a really interesting dynamic.
Right.
Because it seems counterintuitive
Yeah,
to downplay your own role
it does.
in a success.
Yeah.
But I can see how it would build trust and loyalty within the team.
Exactly. It's about acknowledging that success is always a team effort.
Right.
Every member plays a crucial role, and the leader is simply the facilitator,
Okay.
the conductor of the orchestra, so to speak.
I like that analogy.
Yeah.
So if a leader embodies this extreme ownership philosophy,
Mm-hmm.
both in success and failure, how does that actually translate to the way they lead on a day-to-day basis?
One key aspect is the way they approach planning and communication. In the SEAL teams, they have a saying,
Yeah.
plan your dive, dive your plan.
Okay. I've never been scuba diving, but I'm sensing a metaphor here.
You got it.
Okay.
It's about the meticulous preparation that goes into every mission.
Uh-huh.
Before even setting foot in Ramadi,
Mm-hmm.
the SEALs would spend hours, sometimes days,
Wow.
poring over maps, intelligence reports, satellite imagery.
Okay.
They'd meticulously plan every step of the operation,
Right.
considering every possible contingency,
Yeah.
rehearsing different scenarios,
Wow.
until they could execute the plan flawlessly.
That's an incredible level of detail.
Yeah.
But I imagine in a chaotic environment like war,
Sure.
plans often go out the window
Oh, yeah.
as soon as the first shot is fired.
You're absolutely right. No plan survives first contact with the enemy.
Right.
But that doesn't mean planning is useless.
Okay.
In fact, it's even more critical in those unpredictable situations.
I see.
Because when chaos erupts
Yeah.
and the fog of war descends, it's that deep understanding of the mission, the terrain,
Right.
and the enemy that allows the team to adapt,
Okay.
make split-second decisions, and ultimately prevail.
That makes sense. So it's about having a solid foundation
Yeah.
to fall back on
You got it.
when the unexpected happens.
Exactly. And that foundation
Yeah.
is built on a shared understanding of the mission objectives,
Okay.
the desired end state,
Yeah.
and something called the commander's intent.
Okay. Commander's intent.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued. Break that down for us.
So the commander's intent goes beyond
Okay.
simply stating the mission's objective.
Uh-huh.
It's about articulating the why behind the what.
Okay.
It's about painting a clear picture of what success looks like, not just in terms of tactical objectives,
Right.
but also in terms of the strategic impact.
So it's about providing context, not just orders.
Exactly. And this is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
By clearly communicating the commander's intent, the leader empowers their team to make decisions in the field,
Okay.
even when communication is limited
Right.
or circumstances change rapidly.
So you're saying that even junior team members,
Yeah,
those furthest from the chain of command, can make critical decisions
that's great.
based on their understanding of the bigger picture.
Precisely.
That's a high level of trust.
It is.
But how does a leader foster that trust?
Well,
Is it something you just assume?
no.
Or is there a process for building it?
Trust is earned, not given.
Okay.
It's built through shared experiences, open communication,
Right.
and a consistent demonstration of competence and integrity. And it's reinforced through something called decentralized command.
I've heard that term before,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure I fully understand it.
So think of it this way.
Okay.
No single leader, no matter how brilliant, can micromanage every aspect of a complex operation,
Right.
especially in a fast-paced, unpredictable environment like combat. So the leader needs to delegate effectively, empowering subordinate leaders to take ownership of their specific areas of responsibility.
So you're essentially breaking down the mission into smaller, more manageable chunks,
You got it.
each led by someone who understands the commander's intent
That's right.
and has the authority to make decisions within their domain.
Exactly. It's about pushing decision-making down to the lowest possible level,
Okay.
to those closest to the action.
Yeah.
This not only increases speed and agility, but it also fosters a sense of ownership and accountability throughout the team.
That's a really interesting approach. I can see how it would be incredibly effective in a military setting. But does it have any application
Absolutely.
outside the battlefield?
These principles can be applied to any team or organization facing high-pressure situations and complex challenges.
Okay, I'm hooked. Let's unpack
All right.
some of those real-world applications after a quick break.
Sounds good.
We'll be right back.
See you in a bit. So before the break, we were talking about how these principles of extreme ownership, can be applied to everyday situations.
Yeah?
It's easy to see how they play out on the battlefield, but what about in the boardroom?
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about.
Yeah.
We've been talking about SEAL teams in Ramadi.
Right.
But how does this translate to, say, leading a product development team in Silicon Valley?
The core principles remain the same.
Okay.
Imagine you're a CEO launching a new product. The market is competitive. Deadlines are tight. There's immense pressure to deliver a groundbreaking innovation.
It sounds like a recipe for stress and finger pointing.
It is.
If things start to go wrong.
Exactly. And that's where extreme ownership becomes a game changer.
Oh, okay.
Instead of succumbing to the blame game,
Right.
the leader sets the tone by taking full responsibility for the team's performance.
Okay.
If there are setbacks or delays, the leader doesn't point fingers at marketing, engineering, customer service. They say, we as a team own this outcome.
Right.
Now let's figure out what we can learn from this and how we can course correct.
It's interesting because that level of accountability could easily feel demoralizing to the team.
Yeah.
But from what you're describing,
Yeah.
it actually has the opposite effect.
You're absolutely right.
Okay.
By taking ownership, the leader creates a sense of psychological safety.
Yeah.
For the team, they're essentially saying it's okay to make mistakes as long as we learn from them.
Oh, okay.
This fosters a culture of experimentation, innovation, and continuous improvement.
So it's not about creating a culture of fear where everyone's walking on eggshells, afraid to make a mistake.
No.
It's about creating an environment where mistakes are seen as opportunities for growth.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And that's where the principles of clear communication and commander's intent come into play. Just like a SEAL commander paints a clear picture of what success looks like on the battlefield,
Yeah.
the CEO needs to articulate the vision for this product launch. What are the strategic goals? What problem are we solving for our customers? What does victory look like in this market?
Okay, I'm starting to see how this all connects.
Yeah.
By setting a clear vision and empowering their team to make decisions aligned with that vision. The leader can actually create a more agile and responsive organization.
You're getting it, and this is where the principle of decentralized command becomes so crucial in a business setting.
Okay.
You can't have the CEO
Right.
micromanaging every decision, every marketing campaign,
Yeah.
every line of code you need to empower the product managers, the engineers, the marketers to make decisions
Right.
within their areas of expertise.
But what about accountability?
Yeah.
If you give people that much autonomy, how do you ensure they're all rowing in the same direction?
That's where the magic happens. By clearly communicating the commander's intent, you give everyone a framework for decision-making. So when a product manager faces a tough choice,
Right.
they can ask themselves, does this align with the overall vision? Does this move us closer to achieving the CEO's intent?
So it's like giving everyone a compass, not just a set of marching orders.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that empowers them to navigate complex situations,
Yeah.
make adjustments on the fly, and come up with creative solutions that they might not have even considered if they were just blindly following a rigid plan.
Okay, so we've got the vision, we've got the decentralized command structure.
Right.
What else is crucial for bringing this extreme ownership philosophy to life?
Let's talk about the importance of discipline and standards.
Okay, I have a feeling this is where the military background really comes into play.
You're right. In the SEAL teams, they have standardized procedures for everything.
Wow.
From the way they communicate on the radio to the way they clear a room, every action is meticulously planned and rehearsed.
Okay.
This isn't about stifling creativity. It's
Yeah.
about creating a foundation of excellence
Okay.
that allows them to operate effectively under pressure.
So how does that translate to, say, launching a new product?
Yeah.
Are we talking about creating like a 100-page manual?
No, not necessarily. It's
Sure.
about identifying the key processes that are critical for success and establishing clear standards and procedures for those processes.
Go.
For example, you might have a standardized process for gathering customer feedback,
Right.
a rigorous quality assurance checklist for software development, or a clear communication protocol for handling customer support issues.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
It's about creating predictability and consistency
that's right.
in the areas that matter most.
Exactly. And this is where the real beauty of extreme ownership shines through.
Okay.
By establishing these clear standards and procedures,
Yeah.
you're not only reducing errors and improving efficiency, but you're also empowering your team
Okay.
when everyone knows what's expected of them
Right.
and how to execute their tasks effectively. They feel more confident, more competent, and more invested in the success of the mission.
So you're essentially creating a culture of excellence
That's the goal.
where everyone is striving to meet or exceed those standards.
And this is where the leader's role becomes crucial.
Okay.
It's not enough to simply set the standards.
Uh-huh.
The leader needs to hold people accountable to those standards.
Right.
And this isn't about being a tyrant.
Okay.
It's about providing clear feedback, offering support and guidance,
Yeah.
and celebrating successes along the way.
It sounds like extreme ownership isn't just about demanding accountability.
No,
It's also about fostering a culture of support and encouragement.
absolutely. It's about creating an environment where people feel safe to take risks, make mistakes, and learn from each other.
Yep.
And when you combine that with a shared sense of purpose, a clear vision, and the empowerment of decentralized command,
Right.
you unlock a level of performance that simply wouldn't be possible
Wow.
with the traditional top-down leadership approach.
This has been an incredible journey so far.
It has.
We've gone from the battlefields of Iraq to the boardrooms of Silicon Valley.
Yeah,
And it's clear that these principles of extreme ownership
right.
have the power to transform any team or organization.
And the best part is these principles aren't just for CEOs, generals, or elite athletes.
Right.
They can be applied to any area of life where you're striving to achieve a goal,
Right.
whether it's leading a team at work, raising a family, or pursuing a personal passion.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's about taking ownership of your life, your choices, and your impact on the world around you.
Mm-hmm.
But before we go too far down that rabbit hole, I think it's time to take a closer look at how these principles play out in the lives of the people who are actually on the front lines executing the mission.
Excellent point. Let's shift our focus to the team members and how they can embody extreme ownership
Okay.
to achieve remarkable results. We've talked about extreme ownership from the leader's perspective, but now let's flip the script and explore what it looks like for the folks who are, actually on the front lines executing the mission.
Yeah, this is where the rubber meets the road.
Yeah.
We've all been part of teams where the leader might talk a good game
Right.
about ownership and accountability, but the reality on the ground is a different story.
That's exactly why it's so important to understand how extreme ownership empowers team members.
Right.
It's not just about following orders. It's about taking initiative, thinking critically, and proactively seeking ways to contribute to the team's success.
So it's not enough to just do your assigned task and clock out.
Not if you want to be an exceptional team member.
Okay.
Think about the SEALs operating in Ramadi.
Right.
They weren't just robots following a script. They were constantly assessing the situation, communicating their observations, adapting their tactics based on the ever-changing environment.
So even a junior SEAL, someone without formal leadership authority,
Sure.
could demonstrate extreme ownership.
Absolutely. Imagine you're a young SEAL
Okay.
on patrol in a hostile city. You notice something out of place,
Yeah.
a subtle detail that doesn't seem quite right.
Okay.
Maybe it's a suspicious vehicle parked near your route, or an unusual pattern of activity in a nearby building.
Okay, my heart rate just went up. What happens next?
This is where extreme ownership kicks in.
Okay.
Instead of dismissing it as not my problem or assuming someone else is handling it,
Right.
this SEAL takes ownership of the situation.
Okay.
They communicate their observations clearly and concisely to their team leader. They describe what they saw, why it concerns them, and what they think it might indicate.
So they're not just reporting information, they're also providing analysis and potential implications. That's impressive.
Exactly, and that's what separates good team members from exceptional ones.
Okay.
They don't just follow orders. They think critically, anticipate potential problems, and offer solutions.
Okay, but let's say this young SEAL's observation turns out to be a false alarm.
Sure.
Maybe it was just a coincidence.
Yeah.
Doesn't that make them look bad for speaking up?
Not in a culture that embraces extreme ownership.
Okay.
In fact, the opposite is true.
Oh.
By speaking up, this SEAL demonstrated vigilance, initiative, and a commitment to the team's safety.
Right.
Even if it turned out to be nothing, their actions would be commended, not criticized.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
It creates an environment where people feel safe to raise concerns without fear of being punished or ridiculed.
Exactly. And that psychological safety is crucial
Yeah.
for fostering open communication, continuous learning, and a sense of shared responsibility for the team's success.
Okay, so we've seen how extreme ownership empowers team members to take initiative and communicate effectively. But what about those times when things do go wrong?
Right.
How does this philosophy help people navigate those challenging situations?
Imagine a different scenario.
Okay.
A team of software engineers is working on a critical product launch.
Yeah.
They're facing a tight deadline and the pressure is mounting. Suddenly, a major bug is discovered in the code.
Oh.
It's a critical error that could derail the entire launch.
Ouch. That's every tech company's nightmare scenario.
It's definitely a high-pressure situation.
Yeah.
But instead of panicking or pointing fingers,
Right.
the team, guided by the principles of extreme ownership, steps up to the challenge.
So no one tries to hide the problem
Nope.
or shift the blame to someone else.
No way in a culture of extreme ownership, hiding problems is seen as a betrayal of the team.
Oh, wow.
Instead, the engineers who discovered the bug immediately inform the team leader and provide a clear and concise explanation of the issue, its potential impact, and their initial assessment of the root cause.
So they're taking ownership of the problem even though it wasn't necessarily their fault?
Exactly. They understand that dwelling on blame is unproductive.
Okay.
The focus needs to be on finding a solution, and here's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Instead of isolating themselves and trying to fix the problem in a vacuum,
Right.
These engineers adopt a collaborative approach.
So they're not just trying to be the lone hero who saves the day.
Right. They understand that complex problems
Yeah.
often require diverse perspectives and skill sets. They reach out to colleagues with expertise in different areas of the code base.
Okay.
They brainstorm potential solutions, test different approaches, and leverage the collective intelligence of the team.
So it's about leveraging the power of the team, not individual ego.
Oh, got it. And this collaborative approach,
Yeah.
fueled by the principles of extreme ownership,
Right.
not only leads to a faster and more effective solution, but it also strengthens the bonds between team members.
This is truly eye-opening. We've explored the mindset, the strategies, and the real-world applications of extreme ownership from both the leaders and the team members' perspective.
We have.
It's clear that these principles forged in the crucible of combat have the power to transform the way we approach challenges in any area of life.
It's true whether you're leading a SEAL team on a raid, launching a new product in Silicon Valley, or simply navigating the complexities of everyday life. Extreme ownership provides a powerful framework for achieving success.
It's about taking responsibility for our actions, empowering those around us, and relentlessly pursuing excellence in everything we do.
And remember, extreme ownership is not just a set of tactics.
Yeah.
It's a way of life.
Right.
It's a commitment to continuous improvement, a dedication to our team's success, and a relentless pursuit of becoming the best versions of ourselves.
That's it for this deep dive. We hope you've gained some valuable insights and are inspired to embrace the principles of extreme ownership in your own life. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep taking ownership.